What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Welcome to Podcast Hi. I'm Brandon.
I'm Alisha.
And welcome, guys. We're really excited to be doing this. I'm gonna get right to it. We just figured we'd link up and we'd do something on microphone. I met Alisha. Well, actually, you want to tell us how we met?
So we took the intro to radio
Yes.
together, and
Shout out Miss Reed.
yes, shout out. And from then on, we've been friends.
There we go. Yeah, we also did a short film.
Yes.
Together I was part of, and I brought you on for, what was the short film called?
It was called Star-Crossed Love. Yes.
Star-Crossed, yes, absolutely. I totally forgot.
I was the love interest.
There you go. I was the fucking jackass. No, I did editing, a bit of it and a little bit of everything. But I guess you could say I was casting because I'm the one that brought you on because we couldn't fucking figure it out.
And audio.
There we go.
I think that's why our relationship is so why we have a relationship, because you're an audio person, I'm an audio person, and
we're live, by the way. Yeah, point is we're both media lovers, media majors, and we figured fuck it, let's do it. So today we thought we would, well, when we started talking about doing the podcast, we're like, what are we going to talk about? And honestly, me and Alisha will talk about anything and everything. So moving forward, that is the spoiler. We're going to talk about everything and anything. There's no limits, nothing. Speaking of no limits, I think the best topic for us to break the ice, pun intended, online dating.
Yes, and then that's what our movie was about.
That is very fucking true. Huh?
Yeah. Yes. Regarding astrology and dating.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and put the link in the video. That way you guys could check it out. It went on Sundance and everything. Just kidding. They threw it back at us like, get the fuck out of here. Okay, so Alisha. We're 2022. Can you fucking believe that? I remember it was like 2001. I was listening to like Nelly and shit. Band-Aid on my cheek.
Me too.
And now it's 2022. It's hot in here. Okay. So for 2022, especially with the pandemic back or over-ish. I don't know if it's ever gonna be over. What is it like to date for you online in 2022?
Okay, so I actually did start my first online relationship in 2020. I never dated anybody that I met off the internet prior to that.
Really?
Yes. And this guy, he's kind of, I would say, like an influencer, I guess. Kind of. And
TikTok?
No.
Smoke a cigarette for lunch. Or however you fucking do it.
He's actually older than me too. Like,
okay.
So he's like an old school influencer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does he have like a cane or does he?
He's a motherfucking PIMP. Just kidding.
Okay. So you had the Band-Aid on the cheek already. Okay.
So when it comes to dating online, I feel like it gives you opportunities to people that you would never meet in person. It gives you access to those people. And I started dating someone else after that too, who was also very influential on my journey to becoming a radio student. Yes. Because he was also in the radio sphere. And
where are we exactly?
2020.
No. The radio station. Where we at?
Oh, we're here at KKSM, the Radio Revolution, 1320.
That's right, baby. Palomar College.
Palomar College.
Oh, that fucking P up. Okay. I don't know if I did it right. What the heck? I'll say it's like a fucking jackass. Okay.
Fool's gone wild.
Okay. I'll go ahead and take over. This podcast is called Podcast Hi. So.
Oh yeah, not.
I'm not trying to say anything, but.
And Podcast Hi because we're coming up, like we're students.
Sure.
We're just learning. We're beginners.
And we're on a sick one. Okay. Dating online in 2022. For me personally, in general, online dating fucking sucks, dude. I personally, for me, I get a lot of spam and a lot of fucking e-girls. And I'm not trying to shit on people who did sex work or OnlyFans. That's totally cool. Trust me, I'm okay with it. But if I'm on a dating app, I'm not trying to subscribe to like your page or your content, you know? Obviously, as a guy, you know, we dabble with stuff like that. But if I was like, you know, if I want to look into something like that, then there's other websites for that.
So are you saying you're getting hustled?
I've been offered the cash pig position, yeah, but I don't know. You know what that is? Google it after. if you know, you know. Okay. But yeah, for me it's kind of hard. Like at this point, I've accepted like that I can't find true love online. Do you think you can find true love online?
I think you can. But I think it depends on the person. I haven't found true love personally online or ever, I guess. But I think it depends on your mindset. If you're over there, like if you're really like smooth when it comes to talking online and texting and being social media savvy, and that's your intention, you want to find a wife or a husband, then someone could get it done.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, so I know people have met online and they've gone through, they got married. It's possible. So I'm going to say yes. Because eventually I feel like after talking back and forth, you're going to meet in person because some people are really different behind the keyboard rather than in person, you know? I feel like finding true love online, just dating online in general, there's a lot of pros and cons because the beauty about online dating is you can narrow down exactly like your type, what you're looking for, you know, what kind of person you really want. You could really like filter your way into finding the one, you know what I mean? But it really is different though, because there's people that I've met that are like, you know, oh, they're my type and, you know, this and that. And then you go to a social place, a public place or social function and complete fucking 180. But
do you have a story you could tell us
about? We'll get to that in a bit. I don't necessarily have one about that. I've got some fucking bangers, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, trust me, I'm not gonna go off there until I tell it. But I really feel like you can really meet someone online. It's just at this point, it's really hard. You can definitely meet someone, but I think to actually find the one, your one true love, I don't think it's gonna work, really, honestly. But especially now, I feel like people are, you know, with going back to the pandemic, times were rough. It really was. It was really bad. We didn't know when it would be out again. We didn't know, you know, if you told me in like April, May of 2020, I'd be able to do this like in a studio in public, I'd be like, yeah, right. But I mean, I think now at the pandemic, people are really open to like dating and taking it seriously, you know? Did you date during the pandemic? I think you did, right? 2020,
yeah. So I dated those two guys. And that really like opened my mind to working in this kind of field. It really gave me empowerment. I was like, I can do it. Like they're doing it, I can do it. And but then after that, I started school, and then I started dating someone, a classmate of mine.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I started dating someone and maybe like I had the worst luck. I actually met somebody who was really cool. But like literally like days before the pandemic started. So it got so fucking bad. It was like we met, I think we went to Stone Brewery. We went to a brewery, right? We went, it was really good. Next day, the state closes all bars, all restaurants, indoor eating. I think they closed that before because we went to go eat somewhere, and then the next day, oh, no more indoor eating, this, that, and then it was to the point where like our dates were like we were walking around Walmart.
Well, isn't it kind of romantic? Like,
I guess. I mean,
so...
but I think I wasn't the only one there, dude. We weren't the only ones. There's like a shitload of people that would go to Walmart, and they would just go to walk around to get out. You know, they wouldn't even buy anything. You know, but yeah, it's. I mean, it was cool the first few thousand times, but then I'm like, we can't just stop going to Walmart. We did Target, Ross, we did all the departments. Trust me.
Yeah, like this guy that I started seeing prior, like same thing as you. We met like maybe a month, or like we started talking like a couple weeks before the pandemic hit, and we were continuously talking, and then I had someone to go and talk to about this whole pandemic with, you know.
Yeah.
It was scary, but at the same time it was like, oh, well, like at least I'm not in this alone.
Yeah. See, that I give you credit for that. Yeah, that was probably something I was really that was what, like, I was in the same position. I'm like, well, at least there's somebody to talk to, this and that. But for me, ultimately what ended it was we really didn't. I can be very anxious person. People, if you know, your boy is very anxious. My sister says I'm the orange M&M, the one that's always like
Orange M&M.
Yeah, the orange M&M. Bitch. Sorry, Brianna. But point is, one night I was overthinking like always, but I think I had a fair point. We didn't know the next time we'd step out or actually go to like a restaurant or a bar again, you know? So I'm like, what if, you know, like this doesn't end for like another year and a half, and we finally go to like a bar or something, and she's one of those people that just gets like stupid shit faced, doesn't know how to like function socially.
Your sister?
No, she don't either, but I'm talking about the girl I was talking to. No, or like, what if she like we go to a restaurant and she's rude to the waiter? You know what I mean? That's one thing I'm like 15, 16 months in and I'm barely figuring this out. You know what I mean? So I was like, it ate me alive. And then on top of that, just other stuff that I kind of was like, I'm just going to end it now. I don't want to like drag, you know what I mean?
So she was rude to the waiter?
No. Like I'm saying like, like we went out the one time and everything's okay, you know, or the two times actually in person. But I was one of those things like, yeah, just like interacting, being in a social like place with somebody. It's like, how is she going to interact, and how are we going to like, I don't know. It was me overthinking a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, I think if you know, it's just like.
So since you couldn't test that?
Exactly. So we would just be Walmart, walking around, texting each other for like God knows how long, and then finally be able to step out. You know what I mean? Because I was ready to like, I actually liked her, so I was ready to like, all right, let's step it up, let's keep going, and you couldn't. It just felt like delayed. You know, everything was on pause, and at that, I was like, I'm out. But I mean, sweet person, just stuff going on herself. But yeah.
Same thing with me though. I felt the same way at the beginning of the pandemic. I couldn't really know and see how he treated people outside of just me and him being at his house. And I saw him recently, the same guy.
Yeah.
And we were able to go out in public, and I finally figured out that he's actually a good person to other people.
There you go. See? But it's all you waited almost 2 years, right? Like to finally like really like realize. I know that's the thing though. You want to know the other stuff that I want to know as soon as I can before I open up and move forward. But I'm done talking about the pandemic. I hate fuck Donald Trump. Okay. I blame it on him. What's the ideal first date for you? What do you look for in a first date?
I like how we were talking about, I really want to see the person's personality.
Okay.
So whatever they take me to do, I'm open to. You know, we can do an activity, we can go eat. Like I love experiences. So if you open me to a new experience, then I love it,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, anything, I'm open to anything.
Okay. So you're really looking more for the vibe then, technically.
Yeah, vibe check.
The must. For me, okay, I think definitely on the vibe check, I'm on the same boat, because for me, I think the first date is something that needs to be like just simple and not overthought. I think it's just two people getting a cup of coffee or even a drink, just to shake the nerves off and really feel that vibe. You know what I mean? Because first date nerves can really be a bitch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell before you step out with someone, like, oh, this might go this way. This might go this way. Either way, you're feeling something. You're nervous. That other person's nervous. I think definitely just getting like a first interaction over a cup of coffee makes sense, because that way, if you do like the person and the nerves are kind of shaken off, then that second date, I think is more important than the first.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think the second one is when you guys go all out. Y'all get really dressed up. Y'all go somewhere nice, even if it's something like dinner or activity or something, because the vibe's already there and the nerves are kind of gone. I'm not saying you wouldn't be nervous for a second date, but then I think the real, like, really, really dating starts the second time. Because if the first one doesn't work out, I'd be like, oh, you know what? I don't think it's going to work out. And then that's it. You know what I mean? Because some people, they have, you sacrifice the whole day and then you're already like, you just know sometimes you're halfway through going out, when you're going out with someone, you're like, nah, this ain't working out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But you've already been like, oh, we have plans to do this and we're on our way to do this. And then and halfway through, you're just like, he ain't for me, she ain't for me. So I feel like the first date coffee date is so simple, but it's very effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But everybody's on their best behavior.
Exactly.
Like the first dates first.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You gotta see through the bullshit and be like, oh, you're fake. But, you know what I mean? She just wants my money. I'm just kidding.
I say she a gold digger.
There you go. But I am broke, so okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
But would that make me the gold digger?
No, it goes both ways. There's some you see those memes when like girls paying and the guy's like hugging her from behind and stuff. Those are like gold digging guys. You know what I mean? She's buying him the PS5. He's all like,
that's fun though.
Okay. Is chivalry dead?
No. Maybe with some people, but not everybody. There's some people who are more bold and the definition is courageous behavior, especially that of a man towards a woman.
Courageous?
Yeah, courageous. Or is that what it is?
No, courteous.
Oh,
I was like courageous, like what? You know what I mean?
English is not.
That's okay.
Podcast high. This is not English.
We go ahead and rewind it, okay? Okay, go ahead and read it again.
Was it
courteous?
Courteous. Okay.
To be fair, when I was writing, I went over the questions with my sister, and I cannot pronounce chivalry for the fucking longest. I dead ass woke up today, and for 20 minutes in the mirror, I was like, chivalry. I don't remember how it's pronounced. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right now, but yeah, no, you're totally fine. Okay.
So the definition is courteous behavior, especially that of a man towards a woman. Courteous. That's not dead. Being courteous is not.
Yeah, because I definitely still open doors and just trying to make the person comfortable. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's dead. I think for those that say it's dead, there's some guys out there that they're pretty like naive. They just don't see when the opportunity's there. So naturally, they just they don't know. So I'm trying to defend you guys, but there's some people that are just complete fucking jackasses. They just do not deserve to be stepping out. They do not deserve to be in public. Complete fucking assholes. Welcome back. Alisha just Googled what a cash pig was. We're not gonna get into it. Just,
Sure, you don't want me to read it?
no, you're good. All I'm gonna say is she's in search of one. Okay, so. It's funny because I was gonna be like, "Oh, plug your Instagram," but it's a thing. Cash pig's a thing. So, you know. Okay. Cash pig, red flag. What are red flags for you?
Red flags. Talking about their ex. So like the way they talk about it, like if they're like, oh yeah, that girl was a bitch. Or if they're name calling.
So like degrading their like ex constantly, like.
Yeah, or just anybody.
Like if it's my ex, like obviously I'm not gonna be like, oh fuck. Like I mean, I'm not with it. Fuck that bitch. But like, it's not necessarily how they talk. For me, how they talk about their ex is how constantly they talk about their ex.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether it's good or bad, if you can't stop talking about your ex, I don't think you're fucking over it.
Yeah, both of those.
You know
things.
what I mean? So.
Or it could even be like a baby dad or a baby mom, like my baby mom. And I'm like, that's not a flag.
I mean, you're the one that fucking got her knocked up. Now you got to deal with it for 18 years at minimum. You know what I mean?
But anybody that they talk about, it could be about a friend, it could be about family, and they're just like talking down on a person. I don't like that.
Yeah, we don't like snakes, but I mean, I can't be a hypocrite. I'm not gonna say like I haven't done that at all sometimes, but no, I totally agree with you. You don't want that negativity to boil over. Yeah, I get you.
Energies, I put like that could be a red flag in its own.
Don't you have? Yeah, how many crystals do you have under the table? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
They're actually at home.
Just and they could stay there. No, it's for your cash pigs.
Have one for each one. Like oink.
Thanos and shit. What the fuck? Okay. For me, it's like presentation, like bad hygiene. I don't care how beautiful a girl is or how, I don't want to say ugly, but just present yourself in a presentable way. Tell me that you're clean. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about getting your actual nails done and pretty, acrylic, but like, hey, my nails are cut. I shower. I wear deodorant. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something that's so fucking big for me. Like, and then like for presentation, like, hey, let's go get a coffee, or hey, let's go to the store real quick. We're gonna run. You could wear your PJs, your what, you know what I mean? You don't need to be wearing no goddamn summer dress or something.
I don't like that. I don't like when guys are like dressing bummy, especially to go see me. I'm like,
no, see, that's one thing. If you're gonna go see some, your significant other, look nice. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about like, hey, I'm gonna go put gas real quick. You know what I mean? You don't have to be wearing like a fucking wedding dress or this big old Met Gala thing. But then if we go somewhere nice, like, to a bar or a brewery or with a family outing, don't be wearing no goddamn, PJ pants and, some over long ass hoodie sweater, all crusty and shit, being Chip Baba right here on the fucking, you know what I mean? And it's like, nah, it's not for me. But yeah, if you know, I do not like stinky girls. And I'm going to bring that up again later on. But
you know what else sucks? Bad breath.
Yeah, I fucking hate bad breath. No, it's good.
I actually dated a guy and I actually dated like two guys and they had bad breath.
By gum.
And I had long relationships with them, and like it would suck. There wasn't a lot of making out in those relationships.
But the thing is that, okay, so I don't want to spill the beans too much, but okay. So with that girl I was dating during the pandemic, she kind of, I'm sorry she's watching this, but it is what it is. She kind of had a hygiene problem. And it's one of those things where like I could have just told her, but I feel for me, like that's one of those naturally things you just need to know. You need to be clean. You need to take care of yourself. Went out of her way to tell me like, like literally, she's like, like for what? So it's like if I told her, what was she gonna do? If you tell somebody, hey, I think you should probably, they're gonna do it, right? But that's because you told them. For me, something like hygiene is something you just need to have. You need to know. Like you either do it or you don't. And that's why I was like,
the bad breath one is hard though, because sometimes people can have bad breath because they had like gum disease, or maybe like they did drugs in the past.
Scante warrior, huh? You dating these fucking Scante warriors? Give me a kiss, fool.
I guess I have.
Take that.
I've never done it. I never will. But yeah, I ended up finding out with these two guys that they did do it in the past, and that's why they had bad breath. But I was so like what is it called, where you're just like, oh, maybe it's just like gum disease. But then I figured out that they did in the past.
They probably had a piece stuck back there from like fucking 15 years ago. Also for me, okay, this is gonna be a big one. I understand we live in California. I understand it's 2022. People smoke weed. A lot of girls smoke weed. It's totally fine. Yo soy un santo. I never messed with that before, ever. But
you never have?
No, I totally never messed with marijuana. I never done the weed before, ever in my life.
I don't know what 420 means.
Yeah, I thought it was 204 for some reason. But it's one thing like when the girl like makes weed her personality. Like, hey, I smoke weed every day. All right, cool. But like, like I don't, what I mean? Like weed emblems everywhere, 420, Bob Marley shirt every other fucking. For me, that's just not my thing. I don't like stoner girls. Like, okay, because I mean, it's kind of like I said, everybody smokes, everybody's a stoner, but like making it their personality, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody in politics too, like, hey, you're left, or hey, you're even Republican, cool. But when they like that's like their personality, like these Trump supporters and their MAGA hats and small dicks driving their fucking trucks. You know what I mean? That's not doing anybody favors. It's not doing yourself a favor. You know what I mean? So that's just me personally. If you smoke weed, cool. You know what I mean? 204 blaze it. But yeah.
So you don't like hippie chicks?
Yeah, because one time I was talking to this girl, and she was really, really cool. She went out of her way, actually. She like messaged first. You know what I mean? I was like, ooh, shit. But it was the point where like she would call out of work, but she's like, I just want to smoke all day. So she would just call out of work and just fucking be hitting her bong all day. And I'm like, nah, you gotta work. You know what I mean? Like, who says you can't smoke before or after? But just calling out just to get high, nah, I was out. I checked out right away. But all right.
See, I like the style of it. I like the dreadlocks and like the whole colors.
Okay. So you like a little Rasta cash pig?
A Rasta.
I'm not over that. I'm gonna edit that out. Okay. So
you're checking all the boxes.
I know. I'm making a build a man for you right here on the paper. Rasta cash pig. Don't scream like a girl. Okay. Okay. Okay, so when it comes to dating, the first date in particular, let's say the first two maybe. Okay, but the first date, let's say it's gonna be a good, majority of your day. Who pays the first date?
Oh, well, when it comes to me, I like it when they pay.
Okay. Yeah, and do you feel like, okay, maybe I should start paying, or you think more like traditional, like other guys gotta pay?
It depends. Usually I don't pay because I'm girls financially hurting.
I am too.
Yeah, especially right now that I'm trying to pursue all this stuff and I'm not working full time. But in the past when I was like making good money, I wouldn't mind paying for a date here and there.
Oh, look at you. Yeah.
Yeah, but right now it's like that's out of my budget. I'm like, I can't afford that. I can't afford.
Oink. We should pay for the. Okay, for me, I think the person who goes out of way to officially ask somebody out, like if I slid into the girl's DM or like, hey, I should pay for it. If for me it's different because if she came to me, I'm be like, oh, at least let me help you with, let me pay. For the most part, I don't mind paying the first one. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like it's the thing it's natural for the guy to pay. But I am definitely okay if they want to go 50-50, especially if it's like we go somewhere nice and something. I don't want them to feel like, no, you're not worthy. You're not, you know what I mean? Do you want to contribute? Go ahead. I'm being fucking honest because I've seen some bills before and I'm like, but be forward about it too, because I've seen some girls like, oh yeah, let me and then like they're like looking in their purse for like 3 minutes, and I'm like, you're not gonna take anything. That's fine. But yeah, I wouldn't argue it. I wouldn't overthink it. But if they want to pay 50-50, go ahead. I've had girls pay the full bill. You know what I mean? And that was nice. I'm not gonna lie, because some bills were. But yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's whoever initiated first start paying.
Yeah, very true.
And as if you keep going on, if you guys want to go 50-50 or oink, then fuck it. You know what I mean?
That's why I never ask either. Like I wait for the man to come to me.
There you go. Exactly. Okay. We have reached the moment that is going to make or break us. Alisha.
Yes.
What is the worst date you ever been on? I'm gonna say something. You go first, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, because I think mine's pretty worse, but you could. Yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours, Alisha. Go ahead.
So when I was 19, I was seeing this guy, and he was a little bit older than me, in his early 20s, and I was working at my retail pharmacy. I'm still working at till this day. And I had a shift that ended at 10 o'clock that night. And he was like, oh, I'm going to come pick you up so we can hang out. And he had like his own space. So I would go there often, like very often.
In this economy, fuck. Props to him.
Oh, that was 10 years ago.
Okay. It was during the recession too. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Had a boy.
Yeah. But I'm living there now. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I would go over there and we would hang out. We usually drank. So he picks me up this night, right? And someone is driving his car, his friend, which I met before. There was a girl in the passenger seat, passed out sleeping. He is in the middle seat, in the back seat, the guy I was dating.
Yeah.
He's in the back seat with me. And then on the other side of him was another girl. So it was me, him, other girl, right? He's in the middle of both of us. And I could tell they were all drinking, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at first. I hop into the car, we're dipping out, and yeah, I start to notice that, oh yeah, there's been drinking going on. And so the other girl on the other side of him, starts like touching him and like rubbing up on him and like trying to kiss him. And he's like, no, don't touch me. Don't do it. Like, just like, I don't know, so kind of like passive about it, but still kind of like, oh, don't touch
obviously
me,
if you're in the car, definitely he's gonna have to show passive, but yeah, drunk and kind of, yeah, okay, I get you.
Yeah, so
very cringy.
Yes, very cringy. So I'm telling the driver, right? Like, I'm already pissed. Girl's already jealous back there, right? And I'm telling the driver, his friend, I'm like, oh, can you just like stop so I can get out of the car? Like, I'm like whispering to him, I'm like, let me get out of the car. Let me get it. Just stop right here. Like, let me get out. And the guy I was seeing like could hear me. He's all like, no, fool, keep driving, don't let her out. And I was like, We get almost to his house, and there was like a stoplight, stop sign, something where I was able to get out. I get out, and he so they kept driving. I guess what happened, he dropped them off
Uh-huh.
at somewhere nearby. And the guy I was seeing ended up going back into his car. I'm like walking down the street thinking like, oh yeah, I'm the shit. I totally like walked down this guy and
Yeah.
I'm walking and I think I see his car or I hear his car. And what I did, I was walking in a neighborhood. I jumped into someone's backyard to like hide from him. But he
The
saw
fuck?
me. He saw me. He knew I was like around there somewhere. So like I could hear him yelling out my name. He's like, Alicia, where are you? I'm like hiding in the backyard, like, and I'm just like waiting for him to leave. And he does this for like a good like 20-30 minutes, right? And then he ends up going back home, leaving. And I continue to walk my butt home. And then a cop pulls me over. A cop is like randomly driving. I'm walking by a cemetery too. And it's the middle of the night. Like I got picked up at 10. So it was like 11,
Yeah.
12. And he pulls over and he's like, oh, I need to talk to you, young lady. Like, what are you doing out? And I pretty much told him the story that I'm telling you guys.
He's all like, oh,
and
fuck.
he's like, you need to find better friends. Or like, you need to find a better, like, don't be dating that guy. And then guess what happened?
Gave you the number. Gave you his number.
No, I got pregnant. I ended up I ended up having a kid with a guy. But yeah, that was my worst date.
Yeah. That I could definitely see why that would suck. But hey,
yeah,
I mean,
that was my baby's dad.
you have beautiful kids now, and there's positive somewhere out of that negative story. Now, my turn. For those who know, this is the sauerkraut story. I'm not gonna say her name. If she watches this, I don't fucking care. But she kind of deserves this. So so when I used to work at this place, I'm not gonna say any name, I'm gonna keep it. I was interested in this coworker of mine, and the feeling was kind of mutual, I like to think. So I already had kind of asked her out. We already went on like a first date. This is probably like our second or third. I'm gonna say this is it's got to be our second date, I think. Yeah. Okay, so second date, and we both worked that morning. And we had actually the first day we had gone out the night before, and we stood up pretty late. It went well, nothing crazy, but we were just up late. And I made her to the point where we were up to like it was like 3 a.m. and we had to clock in at 10 or 11. So we go home, change. Go home, go to sleep, and then fucking we wake up, we do it, and I'm thinking I'm tired, but I'm feeling good, you know what I mean? And they're like, hey, some of us wanted to go to the mall after work. So I'm like asking her, like, hey, come through with us, this and that. And she's like, genuinely, she's like, oh, I'm tired, we stood up late. She's like, I'm like, oh, okay, no worries, She's like, but maybe we can hang out later after, you know what I mean? We go get like a bite to eat or whatever. I'm like, okay. Like, cool, so I go to the mall or whatever, I'm getting all dressed. And then there's a presentation, you know what I mean? I'm going to the mall just to hang out with my friends, but I also kind of like a little more dressed up than usual just because I know I'm going to step out later. You know what I mean? I'm not looking all crusty and shit. So I go, and then like, hey, it's time to meet up. So we go to this restaurant down the street, and she's like, she shows up, and she looked like she was just, she wears something comfy, leggings, spaghetti strap, little, what is it, cardigan, right? Little kind of sweater, nothing crazy, right? I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. There we go. And I asked her, like, hey, did you get some rest? She's like, kind of. I tried. She's like, I kind of just laid in bed all day and just kind of was like, I didn't do anything. I just got up right now to like, come here. And I'm like, it kind of looks like you did. But so we're going and we're eating, and we're eating and we're talking. And where we're sitting, the restaurant, there's leather seats, kind of like, like the fake little leather type fucking seat. And mind you, she's wearing leggings, right? She sits down. I remember it was a cold night because the heater was on fucking blast, like full blast in that restaurant. It's one of those 24-hour restaurants. It rhymes with Rennie's. But we go and we're just talking, and I'm like, out of nowhere, I'm like, what's that smell? To myself. And I'm like, and immediately as a guy, I'm like, oh, that's fucking, is that me? And, I'm like low key trying to like, but I'm like, no, I'm showered. I mean, I had a pretzel at the mall, but I don't think that was it. And I'm kind of looking around, and then it just comes to me. I'm like, oh, it's coming from her. And dude, she just smelled like ass, like straight fucking ass. Like, I don't want to get gross, and I'm getting gross. Like fucking swamp ass, like fucking nasty, dude. And it's to the point where it's just overwhelming me. Like, I could hear it talk, but she's like Charlie Brown teacher, wah 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 wah, and I'm just like, my nose fucking hurts. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay. And then, but we're still kind of having a good time. I kind of get over it, but I'm like, maybe it's a one-time thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's still in the back of my mind, but I'm like, fuck, that's a no-go for me. Anyways, she's like, hey, she's like, because it was late, but it wasn't too late. I mean, it was a long time ago. So back then, fucking 4:00 wasn't too late for me, but it wasn't that late. And I remember she's like, yeah, she's like, oh, I don't feel like going home. She's like, let's hang out for a bit more. But we were already inside the restaurant. And I purposely said, let's go outside because fucking, I totally forgot. It was fucking cold outside. She was like, oh, let's go to my car. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then she's cold. So then now we're in the car, even in the smaller fucking box. And she turns her heater on. And I mean, it's just like fucking, I'm like, I'm trying, and the inside, I'm like, oh my fucking God. You know what I mean? But I really like her. You know what I mean? But I'm like, that's one too. I'm like, Brandon, stop being a bitch. Stop being a bitch. It's like a guy thing. You know what I mean? Shit happens. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but nothing really crazy happened. But I don't know how. I wasn't trying anything or whatever. She starts like, she kind of takes her leggings off a little bit. And I mean, that smell just fucking amplified, dude. It was like, and I just fucking, eyes were X'd out. I was just fucking like,
did you hit it?
I did not
you said your leggings are
sexual relations with that woman. I honestly did it. I couldn't fucking do it, dude. It was so bad.
Oh
but
my
even
gosh, so she took them off.
No, but I didn't want to say she took them like all the way off, but she was just kind of, she was showing me something from what I remember. But it was just, it did not work out. But that was so bad. But it's funny because she was given the nickname sauerkraut because we used to work like at a food, and it's one of those inside jokes between her and the manager. You know what I mean? And she didn't like it, right? So everybody knows her as sauerkraut. So then after that night, I go to my homie, like, you jinxed it, bro. He's like, why? Because he kind of knew. It's like, dude, she fucking smells like sauerkraut. And I told him the whole story, and he was fucking dying. So to this day, she's known as sauerkraut, and that's the sauerkraut story.
Oh no.
I've had other ones too. I'll tell you what, though, I had the same situation with my ex, but that time I went through with it. But that was nasty. So for me, like I said, you could be looking like Angelina Jolie for all I care. If you smell like ass, you have bad hygiene, I'm a dip. But that's the fucking grossest fucking, yeah.
Were they really hot? Is that why you like?
In their own way. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say no. I don't want to fucking.
Or like you found them attractive.
I was attracted to them enough to be in that position. Yes, I found, there was something there, but you live and you learn. So
that's such a mean nickname.
I didn't fucking give it to her, but I didn't think that was gonna happen either. It was foreshadowing. I didn't see it. You know what I mean? It was fucking
little foreshadow.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Before we do, dating with children. Last topic. You're a single mom. What are the challenges of dating as a single parent for you?
Um, well, so yeah, I'm always kind of scared at first. Well, this is really important to get the vibes in check, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Because I want to know how if what they feel about children, and if they could really date a girl with children. Um, and I also like pay attention a lot to when they interact with children. Because that'll give me more answers than them and what they say.
Okay.
Um,
So it usually takes a little bit for you to kind of like, if it's serious, to bring your children around, or you just kind of like,
yeah,
you trust it right away to like.
yeah. No, I do go out dates without my children. But sometimes I'll introduce my kids to them and just be like, oh, it's a friend, you know.
Because there's a difference between, I feel like, because I was a kid, I was single parents. It's one thing to introduce them and then one thing to have an outing with it. So how long is it before you kind of want to introduce the kids to that person versus like, oh, we're actually gonna like do an outing all together?
Well, so the last time I did that was probably a couple months
Uh-huh.
ago. Um, I was seeing this guy and it was never serious, and he actually has a girlfriend now. But he wanted to take out me and my kids to have breakfast, and that's all we did.
Okay.
And then we went to the park after that. And so I find that there's no harm in that. Mm, because my friends or my kids see me with my friends all the time, like my
Yeah.
girlfriends and stuff like that. So when it came to that guy, I introduced him as my friend. Maybe that's why he stopped seeing me.
I mean, technically, I know. Tell them, motherfucking kids. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. But
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's got to understand too. If that was the reason why, I'm like, they're fucking kids, man.
No,
You know what I mean?
reason. I'm just kidding.
Okay, but you know what I mean?
It's like I'm just a friend.
Acknowledge me. You
Call me
like the
dad.
pancakes, son?
Oh,
You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
Okay, but okay.
But yeah, I usually hang out with the guys like without my kids.
It's fair.
Yeah. Um,
And then before I go into it, you have any tips or suggestions for someone who's a single parent trying to throw themselves out there?
yeah, and then I feel like it's really important that you do though. Like maybe not when they're so young, like mm, well, I've been dating my whole kids' life, I guess. But
Yeah.
like I think as you get older or as they get older, it's more important to put yourself out there because when your kids hit to the age of 18 and they no longer want to hang out with you as much as they did when they were like
Yeah.
young, you're gonna be lonely. And then you spent all that time like um with them, so you weren't able to create a
I
relationship.
see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then especially as you get older and older, like I don't want to be lonely as I get older, especially when my
Forever
kids don't
alone.
need me. Yeah. And
Your kids will always need you to a certain extent, but you're right. They get older and they.
yeah, because right now they're with me all the time. But I know when they get older, then it's not gonna be like that. They're gonna have their own lives, and that's when I don't want to be lonely.
Yeah, because that's the thing though too, is just I know for single parents it's making time, you know what I mean? And for me, that's one of those things like off the bat, like challenges, it's usually finding it's something as simple as finding a babysitter.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
being
yeah,
babysitting,
yeah. And I had to pay for my babysitters.
exactly, you know what I mean? Like people who date others with children need to be patient, you know what I mean? I think that's the one thing too. If I could suggest dating someone who has kids, you got to be patient. Okay. Because no matter what, you're always going to come second to the kids. It is what it is, and you got to accept it.
Yeah.
Eventually, when you get, more serious, eventually, yeah, you guys become a unit, but it's true. You know what I mean? The kids are always just going to come first.
And low key, I feel self-conscious about that. Like, Like I so much want love, and I'm a hopeless romantic.
Uh-huh.
And like when I think about it, I get really self-conscious about like, oh well, I can't put this guy first. And I don't know if that's like an issue with him, but that's why the vibe check is always very important for me to know if he's gonna be like that kind of guy, like give me all your attention.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. Also, I think just trusting them. You just gotta have. I feel like dating someone with parents, like you, like I said, time wise, you don't have time to be fucking around. Like either we're gonna do this or not. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's casual dating. There's, but if you're looking for someone serious, you're not gonna waste time. You're not gonna play stupid games. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and then there's just gotta be, like I said, I think it's just patience, really. Because sometimes it might be a bit for that person who wants to meet you, but once that person is ready, they will fucking come and meet you. But everything just takes time. And speaking of time, we're out. So thank you, Alisha. I had enjoyed making this first episode. Mm-hmm. Guys, we will be back. We have a lot more topics to talk about. We're also going to be doing some interviews. We got a few people that are going to come by the studio. So we're I'm fucking enjoying this podcast. Hi. You have any closing comments?
Had fun.
Oink. All right, guys, we're out. All right. Later.